I think the freaking out, actually, again, it adds to the panic, or it adds to the, it just fuels the negativity fire. So yeah, don't freak out. And also, like, when you're freaking out, does anybody like make the best decisions, when they're freaking out?
No, absolutely not.
No, definitely not. Yeah, like if you're in a life and death situation, you're up on a mountain, you're climbing a mountain, you lose your ropes. I don't even know. Is it best to literally sit there and freak out, or is it like, okay, I have no way to get down with this mountain. My ropes are gone. What do I do? I think it's definitely better to not freak out.
A little off script, but still on topic. Can you share as much as you're willing to share about some of the initial combos that you've had with Jim, our CFO, and just like the types of things that you're talking about, and maybe like what areas you're looking into? Because I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and what I like about how, we're doing scenario planning, right? Which I think is smart to do. We're doing scenario planning so that we understand the changes that we would make before it's necessary to make them. And I think that's actually part of not freaking out, right? So if you're actually like, okay, things are okay right now, we're not seeing signs of softening. And if we're in this mode right now where we don't have high anxiety about it, that's the best time to make those plans, because then you've got, you're clear-headed. You're not blocked, by like whatever is going on right now, or if everything is like really bad all of a sudden. And so scenario planning. So what we're doing is talking through things like, okay, what if we lower our outlook for the year in terms of like net new ARR by X amount? Marketing, what would you need? How much could you cut to help, to make that happen? And we are doing tops down, bottoms up, which most people do anyway for budgeting. So I say what I think I'd need, and then basically they tell me what they think they need me to cut, and then try and meet somewhere in the middle. But what I like about how we're doing it is we're going to do it more like, we talked about it a little bit earlier. We're going to look at numbers, and then we're going to let the numbers tell us when marketing is no longer as efficient as we want it to be. So so an example scenario that could easily happen is we do make some cuts in some areas, but we don't pull back in marketing immediately. And we keep the marketing going because we're pretty real time in our, in like our conversion rates and stuff, and our understanding and the feedback. So look at those early indicators, and if those start to soften, what we'd be looking at would be a higher CPL, and the lead is a demo for us, so a higher cost per demo. We'd be looking at lower demo, like meeting booked rates. We'd be looking at lower demo, like take rates, and then lower meeting to opportunity rates. And those all happen usually within a week or two, of the like initial activity happening. So we should be able to move pretty quickly. Yeah.
So you mentioned something in there that we haven't really talked about yet. Why do you think that the companies who don't make knee-jerk reactions and cut marketing significantly, why do you think those companies position themselves well to like catapult out of this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because everyone around you is pulling back. So that's one of the reasons. So like everybody's around you is pulling back, which creates more space in the areas where you're advertising, for example. So LinkedIn, great. All my competitors are pulling back spend. That creates more space for me to get in front of people I haven't been able to get in front of, and at a lower cost. So now there are chances, again, if I have product market fit and I'm not a nice to have, there are chances I actually do better. Like my marketing performance gets better in times like this. So there are that can happen. And like I'm always trying to, I think that way, like, hey, we have a chance of actually making our performance better even. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah, now I forgot the specific question you asked. I just
No, I mean,
I gave one answer.
You answered it. Yeah. Well, no, it's just, I think oftentimes, like, if you just read everything that you're seeing in the news, you're, being consumed by all of these cuts that are happening around you. And I think the marketers that try to prove why they shouldn't, cut things significantly and make knee-jerk reactions can weather this and then also position themselves really well coming out of it when people are ready to, buy nice to haves or, gotta have tools.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That opportunity. And you're right. Like it's not just marketing performance that might get better. You're actually, because you've had to like tighten things up, you also come out of it fairly, like, ideally leaner and more efficient too. And so now you're coming out, you have a better position, and you're also now able to spend your money more efficiently. So then when things start to come back up, it almost like exponentially, works on the lift that you were able to create, if that makes sense. I don't know that, but like the changes you were able to make during that downturn
Yep.
and get really efficient, they just get like, they just grow when they come out and the like demand starts to happen again.